Hello, my name is Starlight. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and I'm reaching out to all of you beautiful souls out there. I hope you're able to get out in nature like Starlight is, and there Starlight is out here in the middle of these trails here. And anyway, I want to send my love out to all of you, and come on, get out in nature, put the excuses away, because I know we can all come up with excuses why we don't do this and why we don't do that. And anyway, if you are new to my YouTube channel, welcome. And you could find me on YouTube, and that is at Starlight, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman. Plus, you could give my videos a thumbs up, and you could subscribe to my YouTube channel. Not only you could subscribe, you can leave me a comment down below. Beep, beep, beep. Don't be afraid. Don't be shy. Swing by and say hi to Starlight. And also, you could check out my playlist. Plus, you could share my videos with your family or friends. I saw a hawk earlier and a moth. A moth spent the night in Starlight's car. So, yes, you could share my videos with them, and you can check out my Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman Starlight. So I haven't done one of these kind of videos in a while, and it's because of my situations that I was in. So today, Starlight's like, let's do something different by doing a video where you can see the trail here, and so see some greenery and some beautiful trees and maybe butterflies on the way. So before I do this, this video is about people who feel different. Do you feel like you don't belong here? That is what this video is about, is for people their whole life, where you try to fit in, but no matter how much you try to fit in, you always have a way of feeling like the outcast, or maybe, feeling like there's something wrong with you. And so that's what this video is about today, is I want you to know that it's okay to feel different. Actually, it's a great thing that you feel different. And, through my whole life, when I was a kid growing up, I, Starlight thought there was something wrong with herself because, you know, um, there would be family that would come and visit, and at my house, when I was a little. And you know what? Starlight really didn't agree with everything with my family, my brothers. I can't say about my sister because she's blind. She wasn't doing anything wrong, and but other people that would come and visit us, and we would go outside and play. And so it started when I was a kid, growing up, where I separated myself. I always seemed to find myself alone, and didn't even want to play, even when relatives came to the house. I just didn't understand. I'm like, I preferred my alone time over spending my time, with the kids outside. So you might have gone through that as a kid, thinking, what is wrong with me? How come, you know, um, you'd rather spend time alone with yourself? Now, some of you might have, always felt like, you fit in with the world. And so Starlight has never felt like, she really belonged in this world from a child and all the way growing up, is, ooh, sorry, I'm out here, but these little tiny bugs are pestering Starlight when I'm talking. So, yeah, so it started all the way when I was a kid, all the way through my life, where I would try to be friends with people. But you know what? I didn't really feel like I agreed with everything, and I didn't think like them, and I have to say, throughout my whole life, my brother that is no longer here, um, you know, he was probably the only one that actually I was really interested in what he had to say, and not that everything, that he said I agreed to, but he actually thought outside the box. He was not in a box. where he was actually thinking outside the box. And I was really drawn to that kind of those kind of conversations. And you might be one of those people that you have a hard time talking to people because the things that you're really into, you have a hard time finding anybody that is even interested in hearing what you got to say or even talking about anything. And so you find yourself being around people, and you might be like, I'm around these people, but you'd rather be somewhere else. Where, you don't have that freedom to express yourself, and everybody else seems like they're fitting in really good, and, that they're okay with it. But you, some reason or another is that you have a hard time, like to really be content being around other people. And so it is okay. And some of you, might have been taught your whole life is, you're not supposed to be weird or strange or odd, that you're supposed to, be normal and fit in and be with society. Well, Starlight had a hard time with that. When I was like a teenager, I was learning quick because I was on the street at the age of, before I was 16, and I was learning about life. I was learning about life, out, and having it really hard to be told what to do, and have people, because that's how this starts, is where people will try to control you and tell you how you got to be and how you're supposed to act. And even going to church, having people constantly pointing fingers at you and judging you and telling you, oh, you can't wear those kind of clothes, Starlight, you can't listen to that kind of music, where God did give us a free will, on those things. It's really up for us to decide. People cannot force that stuff on you. So you might be wondering, what is wrong with me? There's nothing, absolutely nothing wrong with you. And it's kind of strange that my mother always said this, and it was a saying that I heard when I was growing up, or hearing it throughout my life. There's nothing wrong with you, it's the world. And you know what? Out of anything that my mother could have said in my life, I would have to say I 100% agree with her. There was nothing wrong with me. It was just the world. And what I realized as time went by, growing up and discovering who I am and learning more about the world around me, I realized that this is not right here. This is beautiful. This is planet Earth. But a lot of people don't understand is that we've been lied to, and that we are in a stimulation. And so this is what the whole trick has been, the big lie out here in society. So it's okay that you feel different, and you might feel different or feel like one of the odd ones out, or like a misfit. And that could be, is because you are not here to fit in, but here to stand out. And you could be one of the chosen ones, a light worker, and where God wants to use you on this planet here on Earth to raise up the frequency to help other people. You might have a story that needs to be told, so other people that are out there, that are in need of help, could get the help from you by, really finding out who you are and being used, where other people can get the help that they need by using your voice to help others. So, it's okay that you feel different. There's nothing wrong with you. It is just the world, because we have been lied to and deceived. Starlight has never been through here, so Starlight's curiosity here. Starlight, see if so hang on. Starlight's got a stick down. So it's so important to understand that, don't think that there's something wrong with you, is that you could have a gift, you could have something that the world needs. And don't be ashamed of who you are, no matter who you are, whether you're we're all chosen ones, But some of us, out here are, to be used right now of God, to start finding out who you are and what your life purpose is, so then we can help other people to raise up the frequency and the vibration to put peace and love out in the world. And it's all about getting healed. It's about going within. It's about loving yourself, and it's about doing the inner work and doing the shadow work. And that way, when you do all that work and you work on yourself, that you can teach others. And that is what Starlight is doing, is teaching others how to do the inner work, so, and how to find out who they are by not caring what other people think. So don't worry about what other people think. And you got to find other people. There's other people like you. You're not alone. There's a lot of other people like you. That means you got to get out of your comfort zone. You got to go and do something different. Change your routine around, so then you can find other people like you that are searching for people like you. There's other people like you that feel lost. They feel like they're different. They don't, but you got to love yourself no matter what. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just the world. And that is so true. Is, like I said, is that we've been lied to. Starlight's actually going to turn around. This is going to probably go right out to the road. So we've been lied to our whole life. And so you need to take your power back, like Starlight is doing. And, you can be like Starlight is, I am a voice for the voiceless. And so don't be afraid to take your power back. Don't be afraid to voice what you got to say, So you got to understand, you didn't come here to fit in this world. You came to stand out. And I have to say, that comes from my mentor, is Infinite Waters, Ralph Smart. And my whole life I was like, I'm like, why is it that I feel like there's something wrong with me? But I always stood out, I always stood out. Even, in school, in the class that I was in, I was stood out in the class. I've been put in hospitals. I stood out in the hospital. I was put in to different churches, and I stood out in the church. Even, and that's where a lot of church people, in the Bible, it says even the very elect are deceived, So there's people that could go to church, and when I was younger, when you find out, when you actually get saved and you repent of your sins, and you take that walk with God and you work in your life, and you build a relationship with God, there's people that they've gone astray. They've gone to the world, but they still wear that tag of, I'm a Christian, I'm a believer. But you got to watch out for that stuff, because in the Bible it says even those people that even believe that they're saved are deceived. They've been deceived. And that is why you got to be careful not to, just because somebody that says that they are a Christian, is that you got to really watch out on what you believe, on what they're doing and how they're living their life, because a lot of them have gone astray. A lot of them have gone into cult churches and they're not even aware of it. And they've been put in a box so they can't be used, So, and you got to be careful, because there's people out there that are trying to get you pulled in, and it could be pulled into a cult church that God does not want you there. So just because, people say they're a Christian and they think that they're one of the chosen ones, it doesn't mean that they are, because they could have gotten deceived. And so be careful what you believe as far as what's going on in the world. And Starlight had to learn that the hard way, because there's many wolves out there wearing sheep's clothing. And, they got to be, they can't be one way at the house and another way at the church, because God sees right through people like that. So don't think that there's something wrong with you. Is that now you just got to find out who you are. And you could be one of the chosen ones. And a lot of times the chosen one is one of the black sheeps of a family. So if you've been If you were a black sheep of your family, that's a good indicator that you are waking up to the truth in your life that you are different. And there's no shame in that. It's the ones that are saying that I'm normal are the ones that you got to watch out for. I'm normal. Well, you got to watch out for that because you don't want to be like everyone else. You do want to stand out. You want to be your own self, your own version of who you are, and the way God actually intended you to be, not with people controlling you and telling you how you should live, but find out who you are by getting out of your comfort zone and trying new things is how you're going to find out. Getting out in nature, spending time with Mother Earth is how you're going to find out who you are. And not by listening to what everybody is telling you to do when you want to do one thing and they tell you to go a different way. You got to take your power back and, find out what your gifts are in life. And sorry, my voice is like shaky because I'm walking on these rocks here. So find out who you are, and there's nothing wrong with you. You got to believe that you're different for a reason. And just like Jesus, he was not like, that is why, is that we're not supposed to be like everyone else. And that's why Jesus came, because there's many others, out here. You just have to search for them. And anyway, I love you so much. And so don't don't think that there's something wrong with you because you don't fit in. You weren't here to fit in. You were here to stand out, and you're here so then God can use you. So work on yourself, find out who you are, and if there's things that you've been wanting to do for a long time and haven't done it, because of fear, this is the time that you got to do it now. Now is the time to actually work on those things and start it, because time is an illusion, but it can go like that. So I love you so much. This is Starlight. You can give this video a thumbs up. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Plus, you can leave me a message down below, beep, beep, beep. And you can also check out my playlist. Plus, you could share my videos with your family or friends. A dragonfly and a butterfly. Plus, you could check out my Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K, Dingman Starlight. I love you all, and get out in nature. There's nothing wrong with you. Is if you're not fitting in with other people, there's a reason for that. You weren't meant to. You got to find others like you. So I'm actually finding them on this journey. I had to let go of, everything, give everything away, let go of people I love, and get out of my comfort zone, let go of fear. And that is how I've been able to find other people like me. So I love you so much. This is Starlight. You could check out my Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K, Dingman Starlight. I love you all. This is Starlight, and namaste. This is Starlight, love, light, and peace.